Welcome to Community Health Heroes, where we spotlight local leaders and organizations that provide much-needed health and wellness resources and information. Our hope is for everyone in our community to strive to live healthier, happier, and longer lives. I'm your host, Leslie Snedowski. Thank you for joining us. It's back to school time. So what if you're having trouble getting your kids out of summer vacation mode? Maybe they're scared about starting school for the first time, attending a different school, or entering a new grade. Are there a new group of bullies roaming the halls? And is your child starting to look a little stressed out at home? Jenni Evans, the Assistant Director and Parent Educator at the Parenting Center at Children's Hospital, will be joining us to talk about back-to-school mental health challenges and what you can do if you think your student needs a little help and encouragement. And getting back into a new routine means reminding students to be careful about the traffic hazards they face getting to school and back. Whether they walk, bike, drive, or take a school bus, danger lurks on every corner. In our Community Health Heroes report, we'll offer some great tips for your kids to keep them mindful of their safety, an important first lesson of every new school year. In the kitchen for our Eat Fit NOLA cooking segment, a wonderful cooking demonstration with Mallory Broussard from Whole Foods Market and Eat Fit NOLA Ambassador Emily Eickoff. They prepared sweet potatoes with greens and beans and showed us more healthy back-to-school meals you can easily prepare for your kids to eat at home and at school. If you didn't catch this cooking demonstration last year, you'll definitely want to see it now. And Community Health Heroes recently made the grade. Our team was awarded this beautiful Telly Award for being one of the best health, fitness, and wellness shows in the nation. We were also honored by the Press Club of New Orleans as one of the best public affairs shows in town. So thank you all for your support and for watching us every month. But now, get ready to take some notes because the first Community Health Heroes show of the school year is now in session.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
Did you know, according to the American Psychological Association, asking your children about their fears about going back to school will help them share their feelings. Find out what they liked about their previous school or grade and see how those positives can be incorporated into their new experience. With us now is Jenni Evans, the Assistant Director and Parent Educator at the Parenting Center at Children's Hospital, who will talk about how to help students transition smoothly into the new school year. Thank you for joining us today, Jenni.
Thank you for having me.
I know it's back to school time, so there's a lot of things that parents need to do for their kids. What's the first thing they should do?
Well, I think the beginning of the year is a good time to check in with pediatricians, make sure you get vaccinations taken care of and any health screenings like vision or hearing. Pediatricians are going to remind you about other health-related issues like flu vaccines, healthy hand washing is crucial, not sharing drinks, all those stuff to keep children in school and ready to learn. But of course there are tons of things that parents do at home that assist their children with readiness issues.
And one of those things have to be helping them transition from like a fun summer schedule to, you're waking up early and going to school schedule. So how can parents do that to help their kids?
Well, I'm going to say these things should happen year-round, but transitioning back to school, there are some things that are part of a daily schedule that we know are directly related to school success. One of them, a biggie, unfortunately, for some families, is sleep. Healthy sleep depends on a consistent routine, a calm routine that everyone in the family is a part of. If parents aren't getting good sleep and aren't modeling good sleep, that's going to be a problem for their children too. Another important thing for keeping children healthy and ready to learn is good nutrition. So a lot of us run out the door and grab something that's sugar and white flour basically, and that's not going to help your brain work at its best. So helping your children develop some sort of healthy breakfast habit. One of the newest things we're trying to remind parents about is active play. Not just are they on the soccer team and, and getting some activity that's good for their bodies, but active play is actually connected to school success. So making sure your children have time every day to do something active and playful.
What would a parent do for a child who's maybe starting school for the first time, like pre-K or kindergarten, and even for kids who may be going to a new school? I mean, there's got to be a lot of stress. How can parents help manage that for their kids?
Right. Well, the preparation, of course, was important. So hopefully their children got a preview of some of the things that are going on. At this point, what parents can do is start a really good communication system with their child. So find a good time to check in. Most of us, our children get in the car at the end of the school day and we think that's the time to say, how was today? What happened? It is not. When you come out of a big, long, tough meeting or some kind of chore at work, you're not anxious to go to your best friend and tell them all about it. So waiting for the time that's good to check in. Even the dinner table is not always the best time. Sometimes children want to enjoy family time. Teenagers want to sulk, whatever. So finding the right time to check in and hear how things are going will help you figure out if your child is adjusting to a new situation well.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to talk a little about kids being stressed. I mean, obviously they're going to school, they're seeing their friends again, maybe they're meeting some people who are not that nice to them. I mean, school kids are not always the nicest people around. When a parent sees their kid being stressed at home, I mean, there's got to be a bunch of things you can do to help, right, as a parent?
There are, but interestingly, sometimes parents wind up doing too much, and number one, that doesn't help our children prepare for facing stress, but it also can add stress and add expectation. So what we recommend instead is that it's sort of a stay in your lane kind of mentality, right? Make sure that you've done the things that are your job. Make sure you've filled out whatever paperwork needs to be filled out, whatever fees need to be done or taken care of. There's a plan for lunch, that your children, that they have the supplies, that poster board that they remind you of at 9 o'clock at night, make it happen. So you've done your job as a parent to make sure they're ready for the day. Then let them be nervous. Make sure that your child knows that they have your support, that you're happy to help with anything that they can't do, but that they can handle a lot, that you believe in them and support them. So we're not trying to take away all of our children's stress. We're trying to make sure we've done our job so they're prepared and that we're there for them to help them do their job.
Are there any type of behaviors you should look out for and maybe pick up on stress? Is there anything that you can see a child, what they say or they do at home?
Yes, when you start to see changes, consistent and long-term changes, especially in eating, sleeping, friendship behaviors, and an attitude towards family, either withdrawal or aggression, either extreme towards any of those issues, it's time to get help. And we always encourage parents to use their resources. Call us, call your pediatrician, call the school counselor. Use your resources to figure out what kind of an issue you're dealing with.
A few moments ago I mentioned bullies in the hall, and I have some some interesting views on bullying. I actually sometimes think it's maybe a good thing in school because it prepares you as an adult to deal with, aggressive people. Nowadays, a lot of people are treating bullying differently, and that's another debate. But I did want to talk about bullying because nowadays it's not just someone being mean to you in a hallway. It could be someone texting something about you or emailing a picture that can go everywhere. So that's pretty complicated. How do parents wrap their heads around helping their kids if they're being picked on in school?
The other thing that social media has done, as well as amplify the issues of bullying, is amplify what parents see about bullying and what we hear about bullying, so we know how bad it can get, how bad it has gotten for children around the world, really. The other thing that you said that's very, very true is that not all conflict is bullying, and our children need skills and experiences to face those conflicts and those messy days in the world. Some people are mean, and some days are tough, are not good, and not all of that is bad. Bullying is sustained. It involves a power differential, and it changes your child's daily experience of school and of life. So parents should watch for those things. And when they see that happening, even if they're not hearing consistent stories, it's time to check in at the school.
Before we take a quick break, I want to just revisit one other thing you said about sleep. In the beginning, you were talking about how important that is to integrate. Could you kind of just step us through real quickly what a good routine would be for a parent to conduct at home about sleep? I know usually you have to plan maybe an hour beforehand and get them into more of a relaxed mode, maybe do a story time type thing. Is that what you're supposed to do?
Yeah, so creating a bedtime routine. Nobody wants to hear it, but you got to get rid of technology before, at least an hour before lights out. If you get home from work late, 6, that's not even that late, and bedtime is 8:30 or 9, you really don't have time for many screens at all. So that's one thing. Making sure to have time to connect before your children go to bed. So save your me time for after that. And then don't use it as a time for conflict and correction. So you have kind of a calm, consistent routine. At a young age, help your children count back from wake-up time so that they know they're getting the number of hours they need.
When we return, what parents can do if they feel stressed out at the beginning of the school year. We'll be right back with more Community Health Heroes.
If you smoked, this new lung cancer screening could save your life. Visit SaveByTheScan.org.
Jenni Evans, the Assistant Director and Parent Educator of the Parenting Center Children's Hospital, is still with us. And while we talked a lot about the mental health issues kids can face getting back to school, parents may need a little help as well. Jenni, I wanted to talk about what would happen if it turns out that your kid is a discipline case in school. I mean, obviously every parent thinks their kid is wonderful and they can do no wrong. But what happens if all of a sudden you start getting phone calls from like a new school or a new teacher saying, you know, so-and-so is really acting up, you got to do something about it? That must be pretty shocking for a parent to hear. What can parents do?
Well, as a mother of one of those children, I can get that feeling in my stomach comes, you know, as soon as this issue comes up. But it's also become a pretty big issue for me. I spend a lot of time talking with parents who are having discipline issues with their children at home and at school. The first thing that's important is, in most cases, school behavior should be kept separately from home behavior. If your child is having some discipline issues at school, it's a pretty highly stressful day for them as well as for the teacher. So when they get home, they really don't need for you to hammer away at that, you know, again at home. So become a support system for your child. Sounds like this didn't go too well. Can I help you with some ideas of what to do instead? That doesn't mean that you're not supporting the teacher. You also need to support the teacher and the school. If you disagree with them, then open the communication with them and you know, talk about problem solving. Do some listening, because you may have something to learn about the expectations in the classroom, and let your child know that they need to do what the school expects, and if you don't agree with it, then we can keep talking. Even just that models good problem solving for your child.
I'll tell you, Jenni, one of the last things I wanted to touch on, and you kind of already kind of illustrated how much a parent has to do. There's got to be a lot of stress not only for a kid going back to school, but for a parent too. I mean, it's got to be a stress overload for a parent, especially if you're one of those parents that try to do everything for your child. I mean, how can parents cope with stress when their kids go back to school?
So I think it's kind of relaxing if you remind yourself that when you're doing your job well, it allows them to do their job to their best ability. So again, kind of stay in your lane. Think about what you're doing to support a healthy home life, making sure that the things that you need to do as a parent are getting done. And then when they're, you know, they don't get the diorama done for the manatee, or they remember the poster board 15 minutes after the drugstore closes, or whatever, that's okay too. Sometimes they're not going to do their job well. Focus on their strengths, help them with their weaknesses, and do your job as a parent. And when you're having that day where you just think, boy, I have screwed this all up, you know, and why did I ever decide to do this job as a parent? Call someone, call a friend, call your own family, and get that out. Those are feelings that we all have. I can't tell you how many times I hear from a parent who feels isolated and alone. There's a lot of us out there, we're having similar experiences.
Well, tell us about some of the resources out there, including how we can get in touch with the Parenting Center.
Yeah, so parents should always, when they're having any issues, certainly check with your school, your counselors, your leaders at school, check with your pediatrician, but feel free to give us a call anytime. The Parenting Center can be reached at 896-9591 during regular business hours. Our website, theparentingcenter.net, You can email us and fire a question at us. If it falls within the very broad range of normal behavior, then we'll give you some tips and ideas. And if we feel like it falls outside of that range, we'll help you think through this conversation that we just had and figure out where your resources are.
Oh, great. Well, Jenni, thank you so much for all this valuable information. It was really fun talking with you.
You too. Thank you.
When we return, how to make sure your child stays safe navigating traffic hazards when going to school in our Community Health Heroes report.
When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George. Learn the signs of a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911. Spot a stroke fast.
Did you know school buses are the safest way for children to travel to and from school? However, there are dangers when children are boarding and leaving the bus. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reports that over the last decade, nearly 2/3 of school-age pedestrians fatally injured in school transportation-related crashes were struck by school buses or other vehicles when getting on and off a bus. After a long summer, it's tough for kids to adjust to a new back-to-school schedule, and that includes keeping an eye on the road. How to protect kids and select the safest mode of transportation in our Community Health Heroes report. These are local school zones, and look how fast some drivers are speeding right through them. Last school year, New Orleans Police Department officials and members of the Orleans Parish School Board announced the installation of new school zone safety cameras around local schools. You can find a list of where they're located on the City of New Orleans website. The intersections are cross-referenced for speed enforcement, red light enforcement, and school zone enforcement. When walking to school, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration advises kids who have to deal with these kinds of speeders to use the sidewalk whenever possible, and if there isn't a sidewalk, to walk on the edge of the street facing traffic. They said kids should use crosswalks and look left, right, and left again before crossing any street. When biking to school, the NHTSA says kids should always wear a properly fitted helmet, stay in the bike lanes, and ride in the same direction as traffic. The National Safety Council says taking a school bus to school is the safest way for students to travel, but children have to stay alert and aware of their surroundings to prevent injury. Reps advise kids to stop and wait until the bus is stopped and the door opens before approaching the bus, and to always use the handrails when boarding. If seat belts are available on the bus, buckle up and stay in your seat. Wait for the bus to stop completely before getting up from your seat. Use the handrail when exiting. And if you have to cross in front of the bus, first walk at least 10 feet ahead until you can see the driver and wait for a signal from the driver before crossing. If your teen student is driving to school, the NHTSA says teach them about the dangers of driving and texting. Rep said sending or reading a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds, and at 55 miles per hour, that's equivalent to driving the length of an entire football field with your eyes closed. Other hazards kids encounter walking to and from school are garbage trucks. Waste Management, the leading provider of comprehensive waste management services in the country, says service vehicles take about twice as long to stop as passenger cars. So kids should always keep a safe distance from a truck and never climb on them. The waste collection trucks make frequent stops and often back up, so reps say don't follow the trucks too closely while walking, running, biking, or skating.
There is a 15 feet distance that we recommend that you keep from a truck. And also, be mindful that these trucks are really heavy and they make frequent stops and they back up. And we do have a beep sound that when a truck is backing up. So children just need to be, mindful at all times and to keep a safe distance from that truck.
Now that kids are getting back to school, go outside and do some homework and advise them how to best stay safe on the streets. When we return, a special encore performance of a yummy and nutritious back-to-school cooking segment with Mallory Broussard from Whole Foods Market and Eat Fit NOLA Ambassador Emily Eickoff. We'll be right back.
I'm Molly Kimball, registered dietitian and founder of Oxner's Eat Fit NOLA. We've collaborated with more than 100 partners locally to create Eat Fit NOLA, a partnership that highlights the better for you items right there on a restaurant's menu or on grocery store shelves, making it effortless for you to dine at your favorite restaurant or shop your favorite market without ditching your otherwise healthy diet. Every month, Community Health Heroes Show, which is sponsored by the United Health Foundation, will shine a spotlight on an incredible chef to help show you how you can make smarter food choices to live a healthier, happier, and hopefully longer life. In addition to Eat Fit NOLA, you can find our partners such as Eat Fit North Shore, Eat Fit BR, Eat Fit Bayou, and coming soon, Eat Fit Acadiana in a neighborhood near you. So don't go away, Community Health Heroes will be right back.
Welcome back, and it's really starting to smell very good in here. Joining us in the kitchen are Mallory Broussard with Whole Foods Market and Eat Fit NOLA Ambassador Emily Eickoff. Welcome to the show, ladies.
Hi, thank you.
Thank you so much for having us on.
Well, as you know, it's back to school time, but it's the parents that need to do a little homework, figuring out what healthy meals and snacks they should prepare for their kids. So tell us a little about what you're preparing today.
Today we're making a collard green, a zucchini bean, and sweet potato kind of mixed salad. So it's really easy to make. 8 simple ingredients. It lasts up to 4 to 5 days, so it's good to make ahead of the week so kids can have it all week long.
Gotcha. So tell me a little about what's in it. Show us the pretty ingredients
Sure.
up there.
Well, we have a couple of the plant-based foods. We have some green onions, we've got sweet potatoes, we've got zucchini red beans, which are a great source of high fiber and high protein. It's a really good low-fat option. And then we also have some roasted sunflower seeds, which is a great healthy fat option to include in your kids' meal.
Gotcha. And in terms of like calories or protein, fat, do you have any sort of breakdown on this dish?
Yeah. So per serving, it's about 400 calories, which is a substantial amount for, especially for a kid. For an adult, it's a little bit less than we recommend, so maybe as like an appetizer or a snack. But as Mallory was saying, super high in fiber. Almost 75% of your total recommended fiber is in this dish for the day, and a lot of protein, barely any kind of fats or cholesterol, any of the bad stuff, not really in there. So you can tell by the bright, vibrant colors how amazing it is, really.
So I'm sure through trial and error you figured out that kids do like this dish. So tell us, why do you think kids are so attracted to this? Why do they like eating it?
It's a lot of different colors. Kids love colors in their food. If it looks a little bit all green, they kind of stand away from it. So you've got sweet potatoes, you've got the red peppers, you've got the green onions, you've got the lime, which kids love. So it's a very colorful meal. It's got sweet options with the sweet potatoes, so kids think it's a little bit sugary, but it's not. So it's, my kid loves it.
Well, who doesn't love sweet potatoes?
Exactly.
I mean, oh my gosh, it's almost like eating dessert, but you're not.
It really is.
So Emily, why do you think parents love this type of dish?
I think they love it because it really can, people of any age could enjoy it. That, like Mallory was saying, the beautiful colors is very kid-friendly. And then, the high fiber, the high protein, parents are really looking for that these days. Instead of just the empty calories, the bag of chips, the sugary snacks, they're more likely to opt for something a little more wholesome in that way.
And I'll tell you, it's got to be a real struggle to be a parent these days. I mean, there's so many unhealthy, good options out there, good tasting, I meant to say, especially at school. I mean, gosh, I hate to tell you all what I used to eat when I was in high school and grade school. But can you give us some tips about how parents can maybe figure out what the good choices are for their kids in school and how to get them to steer towards those options?
Definitely. I mean, I think personally would be just trying different fruits and vegetables. If your son or daughter, they don't really like broccoli, they think it's scary, well then try, another green vegetable, or just, it's kind of like trial and error. They really don't like this, but we're gonna swap it with, let's try beets. That's a very, healthy option there as well. So
I'll tell you, if smell has anything to do with this choice. I mean, it smells delicious.
it does. Mallory, what have you created?
So we have the white ends of green onion tops and diced red bell peppers. And the only seasoning kind of flavor as far as additives that's not plant-based, that's not sweet potatoes, anything green, is the vegetable broth, which you can find at Whole Foods. It's our $3.65 everyday value brand, which is a great family budget item. You can find them all through the store. And I'm actually about to add the collard greens. So we're gonna add those and the zucchini beans. We're gonna let it sit for normally you wanna let it sit for about 10 minutes until the collard greens are a little bit wilted. And you want to cook your sweet potatoes, which we'll add last, for about 45 to 50 minutes at 400 degrees.
I'll tell you, this looks so pretty.
I know, it's smells amazing.
I tell you, parents must love it too because it seems like it's super easy to make. I mean, no offense, you're working hard.
Oh no,
It looks like anyone could do this in their kitchen.
Oh, it's so easy. I'm not a master chef, and I'm terrible at cooking, but this is so easy and it's delicious.
Smells great. And when you package this like at home, like if you put it in a couple of different portions, in 5 days, it'll be good for 5 days for your kid?
Yes.
How about refrigerating? Do you need to refrigerate? Because, with your lunch boxes, some of them are cool, some of them aren't cool. Some of the cool ones are the ones you can put the ice packs in and keeps it cold. Does that play in here at all?
It does not. No, if you keep it in the fridge throughout the week and you want to use it more than once, but it's a great option because you can put it in the backpack. It doesn't need to be refrigerated and it keeps very well.
I gotcha. So how long do you stir this for?
So you want to stir it long enough for the half a cup of vegetable oil, which I just added again on top of the other one, for about 10 minutes or until your collard greens have wilted a little bit.
I gotcha. Well, looks great. And the finished dish looks like that one over there?
Yes, so we'll put this, and whenever you're done, so once that's done cooking, you'll plate it, box it up, and then you're going to add a little bit of the roasted sunflower seeds on top and a little bit of the lime juice. And then you're going to add your roasted sweet potatoes. And you can leave the peel on because the peel actually has a lot of fiber.
I was going to ask about that because I see that they're not peeled there. Huh?
Yes, so once they're done, you cut them up. You can peel them or take them off depending on if you're...
If a finicky kid, huh?
Exactly, exactly.
So really the nutritional value of that skin is very high?
Oh, very high. If you're peeling your potatoes, you're kind of doing yourself a disservice because there's so many nutrients and vitamins in that skin right there. So.
Wow, well, it actually looks very upscale, very delicious, and it does look very, it has a lot of eye appeal for kids. I see why they would like that. I know you brought a couple other options, healthy options for us. Do you want to tell us about what else you brought today?
Sure. We brought one of our prepared foods wraps and one of our prepackaged lunch or snack boxes. It's got fresh fruit. We've got some of them have cheese, some of them have turkey, ham, whichever your child is more in favor of. Mm-hmm. We've got so many different sandwiches. We've got lots of Eat Fit NOLA approved packaged items for if you're grabbing on the go, for lunch, for yourself, for your kids after school snack. Either way, there's a lot to pick from.
I'll tell you, you must be making a lot of these this time of year, huh? A lot of parents grab those?
Oh yes, and I eat them several times a week. I like them too.
So tell me about the relationship between Whole Foods Market and Eat Fit NOLA.
Definitely, yeah. So Eat Fit NOLA partnered with Whole Foods. It's definitely a growing, evolving partnership. We started doing monthly cooking demos at Whole Foods, inviting the whole community to come out, watch us create a healthy dish there, kind of like what we're doing now. And then we also do a store tour right after. We'll go to a specific aisle and kind of teach the community how, what kind of breads to look out for and what to look for at a nutrition label, at your salsa, station or something. So that's always been very fun. But recently our partnership evolved a little bit more. We have our shelf tags now. Whole Foods allowed.
I've seen those. Uh-huh.
Yes, they allowed us to go in and pick our top 3 or 4 items of each category. So from cereal to baking to anything like that, we have our top picks of like our favorite brands, and just based on the nutrition label and the ingredient label, things that we would really recommend to people looking for more like health conscious items and things like that. So,
well, if our viewers want to know a little more about what you cooked up today, how can they find out more information?
They can visit WholeFoodsMarket.com, where we have direct links to Eat Fit NOLA's website. We also have on our websites many different Eat Fit NOLA approved recipes, as well as many Whole Foods Market recipes. And they can also find digital coupons where they can get budget-friendly items, and if they're shopping on a budget.
Thank you both so much for joining us today and bringing all this. It looks fantastic and it smells even better. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be sharing a recipe with our viewers on our Facebook page and our website. Don't go away, we'll be right back. Thank you for joining us. If you would like to suggest a health topic, send us information on your health organization's events, or recommend your favorite Eat Fit NOLA restaurants, please visit our Facebook page or email us at communityhealthheroes@gmail.com. If you'd like to learn more about our guests and share segments from our show, check out our website at communityhealthheroes.org, and you can also find our show on YouTube. We hope the information we provided you about back-to-school stress and road safety and how to prepare healthy and nutritious school lunches and snacks for your favorite students will help you and your family live healthier, happier, and longer lives. I'm Leslie Snedowski. Make sure to join us next time for more Community Health Heroes.